Hey, this is Atlas here, composer and music producer, and today I'm going to be reacting, giving you my first impressions of the song Alicia from Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Let's check it out. Boom! So tender. Oh. Okay, something changed here. We're going somewhere. Where are we going? Oh, got goosebumps out of that, mate. Okay, let's pause it right there, okay? I need to talk about this, alright? Maybe I should mention, like the first one that I should mention is that we have a string quartet again for this piece. Now I'm comparing this because I did reaction for Lorien before this song, which also had a string quartet. And what I explained that there, which I can, repeat somewhat here, is that when you have a string quartet in comparison to a full orchestra, a string quartet is very intimate. Is a couple of musicians, it's like two violins, the cello, I think there's a viola in there as well. It makes the song very intimate because the performance of each instrument, how each articulation, each dynamic of the notes are played are going to come right through. There's not going to be like a wall of sound, permeating all the richness of how delicately or how much power you infuse in the interpretation of the piece. So that's when the listener is just going to get so much enthralled. There's less shock and awe and more emotion. It's more uncovered. It really goes straight to the core. Something else that I want to mention is that might be an inconspicuous detail here, but I do believe that we have a female singer for a purpose. What purpose does that serve? Well, the most obvious one I can think of is that, the song is called Alicia, which is talking about a character in the game, and that character is female. So what better way to convey the storytelling of a character is the female than through the touch of a female voice? I mean, what else could it be? But aside from that, let's just get into the sauce, of the song, which is the theme that we just heard, which I think it also is the chorus of the track. Okay, so we have that is essentially the core of the theme, how it's sang in the song. This melody has intrinsically a tragedy imbued into it. Is melancholic, has a little bit of longing perhaps, but I hear it more towards the tragic end of the spectrum, let's say, in terms of the storytelling of the song, okay? It has a sadness to it that is very romantic in a way. Now, I'm not saying it is romantic in a relationship kind of way. I am talking about a beautiful romantic tragedy in the sense of in more a texture or aesthetic way, because if you see the game, it's pretty much inspired by the this Belle Epoque aesthetic of France and Paris in particular. but it does have that tragic touch to it. It is very gracious from Soundfall and the team behind Clair Obscur to include the lyrics of this particular track that is in the description of this official music video that I've been watching in this reaction. And I will leave the link in the description of the video as well, so you can check it out. And, you know, there's different characters that are mentioned from the game, which is Mela, Alicia, which is our guest today, and Luna. As you could hear, there's variations of that theme throughout the chorus, and I already played what's the main core of the theme. However, when Alicia is mentioned in the lyrics, the theme changes to this. Okay? Very important. So the theme is exactly almost the same. 99% exactly the same as the core theme that we hear at the beginning. But the composer decided to resolve the theme in a very different way when Alicia is mentioned. And I do wonder why the composer decided to end the theme or resolve the theme in that way, specifically when Alicia is mentioned in the lyrics. I do wonder why. Because let's listen again how it resolves at the beginning and how it resolves with Alicia. Okay, there is the tragedy and beauty to it. It's not... It's staying in the sad kind of storytelling. But when Alicia is mentioned, it changes drastically, and that's the beauty of the little details, you know. The composer just changed one note to resolve the theme, and it tells a totally different story in regards to this character. And that particular note right there, it endarkens the theme so much. It results in darkness. It's sinister. And another thing is that the note also is sustained in a very particular way. Even the way they edited the video, you know, you have a frame in which you see the singer just staring into what Alicia maybe becomes in this game, because we have the tragedy and we have this sinister darkness that is pretty much given by that note. It's like this character is just shrouded in darkness because of it. So let's keep watching the performance and see what else we can unveil about it, okay? Oh my god. You're killing me here with the cello. Listen to that resolution in the piano. Oh. Yeah, mate, that just hit the spot right there. That was gorgeous. Okay, so a couple more things, right? Not only they sustain that particular note when Alicia is mentioned, but also the piano does a little bit of the core in there. that is just trying to just tell you, hey mate, this is the point in which we're telling you things went wrong for her, like completely. Like she turned into something really dark and sinister, okay? Because the piano is trying to telling you that the melody, the resolution of the melody of the theme is telling you that, the singer is trying to tell you that, the strings is trying to tell you that, you know? They are all trying to tell you, hey mate, it ends badly. This character is shrouded in darkness, basically, like I did mention before. Now, something that that is not entirely related to the storytelling of the song, but is something that I really liked about it, is that, you know, my favorite instrument in the string section of an orchestra, but also in a string quartets, which, by the way, I forgot to mention, we also have a bass there, and the piano, of course, is the cello. And I really appreciated the fact that the composer decided to do like a very melodic solo after the choir, you know, to expand and elaborate further both the tragic storytelling that we have here about Alicia, but also, you know, a little bit of the sinister nature that she has as well. There is a little bit of that Bach cello suite number 1 in the performance or in the composition of the song. I don't know if it is a direct influence on the making of this track or not, but regardless of the fact, you know, it's a very well known classical music piece. I can show you a little bit of it right here. But it's just in like a very particular part of the song. This is not like spread out throughout the whole song, but there is a particular part of it that reminded me of this piece. This is just, you know, outside of the storytelling side of it. But at the end of the day, what I can tell based on not only the performance that we see in this music video, but also more importantly in the music itself, the composition, is that this is a tragic character that went into the path of darkness, you know. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is a game that relies heavily in its storytelling. It's a narrative game. It's a game that is about telling a story. Some games present you villains and you know, evil characters just because, you know, and they do it very well because that's how it works for those games. You don't need a backstory of how they went astray or whatever you want to call it, you know. They're just evil and we enjoy that and that's it. But for Clair Obscur, I think that's maybe that is not enough. We need more substance. We need a backstory in regards to that. So maybe in the game we do get to know about that, how Alicia turned. And I do also know that she's a boss in the game. So what happened, I don't know. But that's the storytelling that I hear in the track so far. So thank you very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And also check my Lumiere reaction right here. Alright? I'll see you there.